Okay, I hope this is going well and recording and all that. So I will just sound like a giant dork and say when we got to chapter 7 and I did this week's reading, I just want to say on the subject of planning and organizing and these kind of detailed things, I say yes and amen. Not only is this literally my background, this is something I feel super passionately about. I know that that makes me a giant loser, but it's because I've worked in all different kinds of institutions. Antonia, feel free to join in this discussion because this is a discussion over at the School of Theology. Because, kind of like our text says, people overlook this aspect or they don't want to talk about this aspect because it's not fun. Like, it's not like the sexy clinical interventions. Well, we see the same thing happening in churches because pastors want to preach and they want to be dynamic, and ministers want to plan activities for the youth, and like, now we're going to go to Six Flags. But like, there has to be something to make sure that we're all planned and that we're prepared. Otherwise, an entire institution comes apart. So this is interesting to be talking about this on both sides of my field. Our text lays out kind of foundational tasks for organizing supervision. And in the way that I see this, at least my experience here at Mercer, which was very good as a master's student, a lot of this role falls under Dr. Elder and under the position of clinical director. So we are doing a lot of this, the initial communication, the setting up the school and the site, the telling students what to do, getting them ready, their orientation. We take a huge course called Orientation in Professional Practice, and that gets us basically through step 3. And we do a site contract, and we're ready to go. That's where it stops, because from there we don't really have a supervision contract as much as we have a syllabus that lays out our expectations and stuff like that. I will also say I am very glad to see our text talk about that if there's one way for our supervisees to feel not good about the whole experience or not build a therapeutic alliance or not plan for success, it's when they don't know what their expectations are. I literally just wrote about this exact thing in my personal model paper. I will say, we're not going to name any names, but I had 3 different professors for practicum, internship 1, internship 2. And all 3 very different experiences. So I can very much attest to the truth of this chapter in that, yeah, when it's not organized and nobody knows what to expect, you don't even feel good in your own self as a supervisee because you are literally trying to figure out what's going on in what's supposed to be a helpful reinforcing class. Now, for this summer, I am excited because so this summer for me, I am serving in practicum with Dr. Koth, who is exactly who I had my practicum with. So I'm super excited because I know what to expect. She is very organized. It is very detailed in the instructions, in the syllabus. It's reviewed. You understand on night 1 exactly what your expectations are. And then, in the first few weeks of the semester, she has her me next semester, meet with all of the students individually. And then at the same time, she is meeting with the sites in the first few weeks to kind of measure how it's going. Here's what I would love to offer when I speak with Dr. Koth, particular to this chapter, is that number 1, I would love to offer to do pre-meetings with the sites to maintain expectations around recording and policies. We've had some issue with that in the past where sites say they understand and then they don't. Also, I would love in my meeting with the students to really focus on their goals and understand how I can help them this semester. And then on the planning for expectations / gathering resources side, I really want to be able to build this out. You know, oftentimes practicum is the first time a student is having to do a mandated report. So do they know how to do that? Do they, just kind of building different resources for them and being a resource for them so that if the exception happens, they feel okay. Thanks, guys.